Hello everyone. So the last time I was doing an update was 2 months ago, which, did anything important happen in those 2 months? I don't know. No, it was 3 months ago. Oh my god, wait, no way. Oh my god, it was 3 months ago. So we're just gonna dive right in here and just start talking about what's happened in the past 3 months since I posted a video, which Welcome to my 27th month of HRT. In my last update, I was talking about how my endocrinologist mysteriously lowered my estrogen dose for reasons that I could not understand because my levels stayed pretty much the same. Like, I had those levels for 8 months at least, and all of a sudden she's just dropping me, and then she dropped me again, and I'm like, what is happening right now? So in the space of 2 years, I went from taking the dosage that I started taking with this doctor, which was way higher than what I was taking with my previous endocrinologist, all the way up to the absolute maximum prescribable dose of estrogen, which was an adventure, and then all the way back down to the level I started with her. That drop is just boom, right freaking down. And to make matters worse, I was unable to actually have an appointment with her. So like, she took off all of February, which is exactly what I did not need when I'm lowering my estrogen for reasons I don't understand. I needed time with my doctor for her to actually sit down and patiently explain to me why my treatment plan is changing so radically all of a sudden out of nowhere. And I need to like explain what it feels like for me to go down in my dosages. It feels like losing HRT altogether because my body got acclimated to the levels that I was at for like 8 months. No, longer than that. I was above that level that I'm at now for over a year and a half. So like every time I drop my dosage, it feels awful for like a month. And then I finally adjust to those levels and I feel okay. Which fortunately brings us to where we're at today. I feel okay, but I needed an explanation. I needed to know why the treatment plan was changed so suddenly and so dramatically, and I just could not understand what was happening. Because like, even if my levels were dangerous and were a problem, I need to know what kind of risk I was exposed to for the past year and a half. Did you mess up then or did you mess up now? Because something was wrong and I don't know which it is, and I don't know how to trust you, especially when I can't contact you. However, finally, I did actually manage to get to talk to her, and she actually had the time to sit there and explain everything to me, and she was like, listen, the levels changed. What we thought was correct for trans women is not correct anymore. We need to lower you to this level or it's dangerous. I'm not saying you'll get a stroke immediately if you don't lower these levels, but you should lower these levels because they don't need to be that high and the risks are higher at those levels. Okay, so nobody made a mistake. The actual like science changed. Good, great. Glad you're keeping up with that, first of all. Second of all, tell me that before we just start lowering things, you know? So now I have some idea what the upper range that she thinks is safe for me is, and what our targets are, and where I should be when I get my blood work taken again next month. But the most exciting part by far is that I am officially on estrogen monotherapy. Estrogen monotherapy is exactly what it sounds like. I'm taking HRT, but I'm not taking any testosterone blockers. I'm only taking estrogen and progesterone. And this has been going on for a while. I dropped my testosterone blocker back in January. We wanted to wait 3 months to really see exactly where those levels were gonna be to make sure everything was gonna level off so that we get useful numbers for testing purposes, which means that next month I will see if my testosterone level is too high or not, and really hoping it's okay because spironolactone is the worst testosterone blocker in the world, and only the US uses it. Of course, the country with the bathroom problems makes everyone take a diuretic. So yeah, I mean, in terms of how I'm feeling, I feel like I've adjusted to the lower level of estrogen. Every time I feel like my testosterone is too high, it's actually too low, which is a weird thing. I don't know what happens there in my brain, but the point is that like, I'm not feeling that way, so I'm kind of worried that it actually means that my T is too high, and I'm like, uh-oh. It's just the psychology of it, because I know I'm not blocking my testosterone with anything other than estrogen and progesterone, which, yes, both block testosterone, but to what extent? And like, I had low testosterone before I started taking any HRT. Like, I actually got diagnosed with that at one point. So I'm kind of like, I think I'm probably okay, maybe. But yeah, it's really scary. You know, as much as I really love not peeing constantly because, and not having to worry about potassium poisoning and not having to worry about my salt intake and everything, like, it's just so much more freedom. It is kind of scary not having anything besides those two things that we lowered. Again, the estrogen lowered by a massive amount. Seriously, my estrogen went down by a factor of 2. I halved the amount of estrogen that I'm taking. So it's really scary because I'm like, oh, this might not be enough. But with bottom surgery upcoming, that will no longer be a concern. So I'm really excited for that because worst case, if my tea is bad and it's not unlivable, I can just do that for a few months or however long it takes to lead up to bottom surgery and be fine. But I'm just always terrified of going backwards, and like some of these changes aren't reversible, some of them are. And the ones that are obviously terrify the crap out of me, you know, because I don't want to go back. But I'm also like, my body is as masculinized as it's ever going to be. It will never go down that trajectory ever again. Like, that is not a risk. That is not something that's on the table. It's impossible to reverse some of it. Like, if I dropped all of my HRT today, stopped taking anything, and let my body come back to whatever level of testosterone it could give me again, I would still have breasts. Like, these would be here forever. That's why trans men have to get top surgery. It's a ridiculous fear, but I'm always worried that, like, I'm just one mistake away from having my womanhood taken from me, which is ridiculous. The next thing I want to talk about is my surgery letters. I have 2 out of 3 of those letters, which is great. The problem is I need 3. The third letter is the one I was least expecting to be a problem. I need to ease into this story slowly because I am so furious about it that I could just scream. I saw my gender therapist in the first week of January. It's March. Where the f*** is my letter? The fact that I'm sitting here in March able to tell you I don't have a letter from a session that I had in January is messed up. And then on top of it, I've been in communication with her, I've sent her messages and stuff, and for a month, a solid month, I got no response. Nothing at all. Then she told me, oh, don't worry, I'll take care of it next week, it'll be not a problem. And then it's been 3 weeks since then, and I've got no response, no letter. Yeah, there's like a month before my consult. I am running out of time. And again, I cannot adequately express to you how completely frustrating this is. This is someone that I built up trust with for 2 years to make this letter, to ultimately make this letter, and I don't have it. I was considering going back to this gender therapist to talk through all the lead up and recovery stuff with my surgery. But now, screw you. I am never coming back to you. It's downright unethical. Like, I literally paid you for this, and you haven't done it, and you're out of communication, and you billed it through the wrong insurance, and just, what are you doing? What is the problem? If you can't do it, or if you're unwilling or unable, tell me. I'm an adult, I can handle that. I can handle that a lot easier than you telling me, oh, it'll be done next week, for 10 weeks. It's been 10 weeks. What the f***? So me, being the paranoid individual that I am, I have 2 different backup plans for this situation, which I never thought I was going to need because this was the therapist I saw for 2 years that I thought would be totally there for me and who said she was going to be there for me and isn't. It's really not playing well into my fear of abandonment. But it doesn't look like I'm going to get a choice. I have to have this letter in hand when I walk in on the day of my consult in 1 month. I need that third letter. It doesn't super matter who it comes from. It needs to come from someone. I would have preferred that it would be the person who originally diagnosed me with gender dysphoria, but apparently they can't be bothered. I have to go somewhere else. I can't afford to wait for you. So, here is my plan for the next month. The first thing I have to do is get another letter. I have to get a third letter. I don't care who it comes from. It has to come from somebody because I need a third letter. The next thing after that is that I have to go see the vampires, which is what I call the lab technicians who take my blood. And then like less than a week after that is when I have my consultation for bottom surgery. Which means I'm actually gonna have my bottom surgery consult before I have my lab results, which is not the order in which I wanted to do things, but here we are. On the bright side, I will certainly not be bored the entire time leading up to this consult if I have to scramble to get a letter together. Woo! Yeah, super how I wanted to spend this time. But that is the situation that I find myself in, and that's what I'm gonna have to do to make this happen because I need this damn surgery and I will do whatever it takes to get there. So, fun times. And like I've said, I wouldn't fully trust a reality in which I don't have to fight unnecessarily hard to get what I need, because that's just how my life is. I know that sounds really depressing, but that's the truth. I always have to fight harder than I should have to for everything. And it honestly makes me trust it more, because anytime it's too easy, I'm just waiting. Like, what's the catch? When's that other shoe gonna drop? Where's the bomb? Where's the big kaboom? Where's the big kaboom? There was supposed to be a massive earth-shattering kaboom. I'm trying to remember that I am gonna get there, that I am closer than I've ever been, and every second working towards this is another step closer to it. I'm gonna make it work. I will get there, I will get what I need. It will suck the entire time that I'm doing recovery, but I have no choice. You know, I'm just in constant misery with this situation as it is today, and I think I've pretty conclusively proven after, God, almost 2.5 years of HRT, that this is not a situation that I can ever be fully happy with. So I'm gonna have to do it, and it's gonna really suck, and apparently I'm gonna have to do it the hard way, because that's my life. And that is all for this transition update video on month 27 of HRT. So thank you for stopping by and for keeping up with my crazy episodic story of how this is way harder than it should ever have to be for no reason. But thank you for subscribing and for watching and keeping up with this crazy thing I call my life. And I'll be back with some new content that isn't transition related for once soon. So I'm really excited about that. Bye everybody.